Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we will be understanding what exactly is Statement of Applicability. So let's get started. The agenda for this video is understanding Statement of Applicability, why it is needed. I will also show you a sample document of SOA. Statement of Applicability, which is widely known as SOA. Statement of Applicability is a critical ISO 27001 document. Why? Because whenever an audit is performed in your organization, the first document that the auditor will ask you to show is the SOA. And why is it? Because this document is a reference to demonstrating to the auditors and stakeholders exactly how your organization handles information security risks. This document will be a document where you will mention all the controls, okay, and you will also mention whether it is applicable or not. Yes, no, you have to mention. Like you will mention all the 93 controls in one row, and then you will also mention whether it is applicable or it is not applicable, and then you will justify it if it is not applicable. So this becomes one-stop destination for the auditor to know what are the controls that have been applied and from where he can actually start his audit. See, it has a direct connection to the risk assessment as well, because when you perform the risk assessment in your organization, you will come to know what are the risks and what are the controls that you need to implement in order to fix those risks. If you have not seen my video on risk assessment, then I would suggest you just stop this video here and go watch that video. It will give you more clarity. It has a direct connection to your risk assessment. It links your risk to the specific security controls you implement. So based on the risk, you will select the controls and then you will try to implement them. This document is also a reference to demonstrating to the auditors and stakeholders exactly how your organization is dealing with the information risks. Hence, this document is very important. SOA lists all Annexure A controls and records which ones your organization is applying, which are not applicable, and the reasons for those decisions. That is, you have to provide a justification. You just can't say, okay, I'm not implementing it. For example, control says remote working, okay? And if your organization does not allow work from home, then this becomes not applicable for you. At that point of time, you have to justify why you're not allowing remote working. This is just a very basic example I've given, but there could be many such controls that you have to justify. Or this is one of the mandatory document. If you ask me name one mandatory document, I would say SOA is one. There are many such, but SOA is one mandatory document. Auditors will review it to verify your control selection, risk alignment, and compliance during audit. So what all will be contained in this SOA document? Let's try to understand it. Majorly, it will contain these 4 items. What applies, which control you're going to apply, and which control you're not going to apply. Okay, that is something that you will mention. If implemented, provide justification. Even if it is implemented, you have to give justification why you are implementing. If it is excluded, a rationale for non-applicability. You have to also provide a justification as to why you're not implementing it. The implementation status. Sometimes what happens, you're implementing it, but it is still not completed. There's some dependency on some teams and it is still not done. So at that point of time, you have to mention, okay, this has been completed, or it is in progress, or it is on hold, whatever is the status, just mention there. See, this is one of a very basic template that I'm showing you. For example, Annexure 5.1, it says, is it implemented? Yes, it is implemented. Why is it implemented? It is required by, here I'm mentioning, okay, it is required by law, and it is also required by our risk assessment. Then you mention that. And what policy, is there any policy relevant to this? Then mention that, okay, access control policy is in place in reference to this control. Like this, you can mention. If you're providing a justification for not implementing, you should say, you can just mention that not required as our organization, as our organization does not allow remote work, whatever. This is just an example. Maybe it is not the right controls as well. I'm just giving you one example for your better understanding. So that's about Statement of Applicability. Do let me know how you're finding this video. And if you have any comments, do mention in the comment box, and I'll try to implement them in my next video. That will really help me in improving my content. And also let me know what is the other kind of videos that you like to watch in my channel. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.